Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife, Marie. And you are going in Smackdown Live.
Hi, this is Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke watching Going In the Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. And available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notify bell next to it if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're listening to us in the audio realm, leave us a rating, review, or a comment. It really goes a long way towards helping boost exposure of Going In Raw. So, yeah. The WWE Draft Night 1. Day 1.
In the books, man.
In the books. Although we will be monitoring WWE's Twitter account for the rest of the night and see if maybe
why
they're
they
gonna
even
pick up
bother. They in the preliminary list, the draft pool, they had basically the order of the draft picks.
So let's get that out of the way. Today during our draft preview episode,
which went up this morning, yes,
directly from WWE.com, we pulled the WWE's draft pool list, which turns out was in the exact order
for the first 2.5 rounds. Three rounds.
Given that we knew, they told us that part of the thing was it would be 5 draft pick rounds.
2.5 rounds, sorry.
And so there'd be five superstars or tag teams per round. It'd be Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, Raw. So 3 Raw, 2 SmackDown. You could tell looking at the list who was going to what brand.
Yeah.
It started to break down towards the end. Maybe
the third round, yeah.
Word might have trickled back to
but it was actually pretty much just seeming like two people switching places. Mm-hmm. It was the War Raiders and Kevin Owens kind of just switching places.
So on the list, according to the list, War Raiders should have gone to SmackDown.
No, to Raw.
In order.
But I think on the original list, they were after Lacey Evans.
They were. Yeah, that's correct. In the original list, also Kevin Owens was supposed to go to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Which is all kind of interesting stuff. So yeah, somebody goofed up big time, which is pretty darn hilarious. But in terms of draft, this was the first time they did it using Stephanie McMahon as kind of the Roger Goodell. Single person. They had war rooms for USA and Fox.
That was funny.
Which was pretty cool. I like that.
Cletus was in the Fox war room.
Yes, he was.
And that's what really made it. And
it looked like USA. I kind of feel that USA, all of a sudden, they're worried about maybe being upstaged by Fox, and so they're like, "Oh man, Fox is obviously all in on this draft thing. They're going to have a war room," and maybe WWE said, "Hey, USA, obviously you're Raw.
Yeah.
Do you want to participate in this?" And they threw together their own war room.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see, network executives, which who knows if they were actors, extras, or actual executives.
Well, I think outside of Rob Stone, the Fox one, and Cletus, they were all actors. Well, I guess Cletus is an actor too.
Maybe, I don't know. It could be the kind of thing where, hey, you want to come do something silly?
Maybe.
Take the night off and come act. Like you're in a war room for a draft.
Could be.
I don't know, but I thought it was pretty entertaining. I thought it was decent for a draft. In terms of real surprises for the draft, even if not including the fact that the list itself was a big spoiler.
Yeah, there was
not
only
a lot
three.
of surprises.
Night 1, there's only 3 people who changed brands.
Wow. Okay.
That's it. Everybody else otherwise stayed put.
And that was Kevin Owens going to Raw.
Kevin Owens going to Raw, and then Braun going to SmackDown. Probably the only surprise is Bray Wyatt going to SmackDown.
That was a surprise.
Pretty much putting an end to his feud with Seth Rollins.
We had heard that, or we had read, the dirt sheets had that Paul Heyman was really campaigning to get Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black, and The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, on Raw. So that didn't pan out. Braun going to SmackDown is interesting. That's a pretty big deal.
And I guess if they want to, at least short term, use SmackDown, with it being on Fox, as a vehicle to promote his feud with Tyson Fury, makes sense.
Yeah.
And Braun's been on Raw pretty much ever since, he has been since the first draft 3 years ago. Change of scenery will do him some good.
Given that, and then at the end of the show, we had a pretty decent main event featuring a full-on heel turn from Bayley. Mm-hmm. She smashed to smithereens.
Oh, wow. Just got word here.
What we got?
From the enforcer, Stevie Bradley, that they changed the list to alphabetical order now.
But you know what? We copied the list, and we have it right here. But something tells me they're going to understand that everybody probably did that. And so they're probably going to be overnight. They're going to be flipping a lot of these picks around.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Bayley in the main event regained her SmackDown Women's Championship from Charlotte Flair. She lost it at Hell in a Cell. A haircut, and she took basically an axe.
Yeah, pickaxe essentially to the wacky, wavy, inflatable tube man and popped them all on top of the ramp.
Children crying everywhere, at least one on Twitter.
And then she grabbed the mic after a win and said, "Hey, bees."
Yeah. Hey, bitches.
Yeah. Screw all of you.
Yeah. And then dropped the mic. So if that's not a heel turn, I don't know what.
Totally heel Bayley.
Yeah.
Totally heel.
So an eventful episode of SmackDown.
Oh, sorry.
Just by nature of.
There was one other person
Brand
changing
switch?
brand. Yeah, sorry. I forgot to mention this. Sasha Banks. She's on SmackDown now.
They might have.
But she came back post wild card rule, so it was kind of
Yeah, she was everywhere anyways.
who's even on which brand anyways. But
So she's on SmackDown. Becky and Charlotte are probably on Raw. So it's probably
Becky
gonna be,
confirmed on Raw, yeah.
Becky confirmed with the number one pick. Charlotte has to be going to Raw.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah, that makes sense because they're not. I mean, otherwise they're going to have three horsewomen on SmackDown,
yeah.
which is possible but doubtful. So Charlotte's going to be heading to Raw. Her and that's interesting because we had heard also that
Fox wanted
Yeah,
Charlotte and
Charlotte.
Reigns, yeah. And they got one of them
interesting stuff
for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Roman Reigns, he kicked off the show in a match against Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
The announcement was the winner of said match would the brand they represent, would get the first pick in the draft.
Yes, and so they did not really follow through with Seth being at all
no.
traumatized by Hell in a Cell.
The closest they got was he reversed a spear from Roman to a pedigree, and he was like upset the pedigree didn't win the match.
Yeah.
But then he went for a stomp, and then the finish happened. So let's start at the very beginning. There's good back and forth. It's more of a wrestling match, some give and take, some good back and forth, until Seth, seemingly realizing that a wrestling match wasn't going to cut it, balls up his fist, bang, punches Roman. Roman's like, hey, because before the match they had a fist bump. Brothers.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, WTF, Seth, we're brothers. Punch him right back. So
That's like, dude, I just dropped 15 curb stomps on a guy, and it didn't do anything, so I'm going to have to do something more than mat wrestling.
Yes. So they'd start trading strikes. Roman goes for a Superman punch. Seth avoids, drives him into the turnbuckle, hits two suicide dives, a springboard knees, frog splash, just a flurry offense from Seth. Only gets a 2 count, though. Goes for a stomp. Roman evades. They start trading blows again. Seth hits the super kick, buckle bomb. Roman rebounds right out of the turnbuckle. Superman punch. Roman goes for a spear. Seth counters for the pedigree, gets 2. Seth gets ready for a stomp. Lights go down. Fiend pops up from under the ring through the canvas. Puts the claw on Seth, pulls him down. Puff of smoke. Seth crawls back out, holding his throat.
Yeah.
And then the Fiend kind of pops his head out, looks around a little bit, and like skulks back down under the ring.
Kind of silly.
Lights go down again. Now the Fiend's on the stage.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that's say hey, peace, bye.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've been told I've been drafted, man.
But told this feud's over.
But they're breaking us up, Seth, man.
Uh,
Taking my puppets to SmackDown.
And commentary then after commercial confirms that Seth is the winner by disqualification, which makes sense. It's interference by Bray, so yeah, he should win. I guess for a second, let's address the finish to Hell in a Cell. If they knew this is how things were going to pan out, or at least had an inkling, why bother even having the match?
I don't think they would have. I think that I'm not going to. Man, I don't know.
Unless they
something tells me.
Unless they knew. I mean, here's two things. If they knew Bray was going to go to SmackDown a week ago, well, less than a week ago on Sunday. Sorry, the match has been building up for like about a month. If they had any inkling Bray wasn't going to stay, don't do it. The only way you proceed with the match, especially with that finish, is if you know Bray is going to stick around, you continue the storyline.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if this was a matter of.
Because now it seems like a knee-jerk reaction to the response to Hell in a Cell.
It does. You know how this goes, though. They'll set things up understanding that the future is unpredictable. They do this all the time. Vince McMahon, he'll set things up. This is the main problem. Honestly, this is like the number one issue with WWE because it's not talent, it's not production, it's not. I'm not even gonna say it's not scripted promos. It's none of the things that often people will bitch about.
There's no follow through.
There's zero long-term planning, and you and I are not in the room when things happen. We don't know the ins and outs of why decisions are made, but it is kind of obvious that they do this Fiend thing with Seth because they think that it's good for that one moment. Vince McMahon works in moments.
Yeah.
He doesn't work in long-term payoff.
No.
What he doesn't seem to realize, what he hasn't seemed to realize for the longest time, is that moments can become even bigger and iconic once there's been a long-term build to that moment. So
Moments in a vacuum don't really mean a whole lot.
for the most part, yeah. I mean, a lot of people say,
You get some shock moments, you get some cool moments because something crazy happens, something interesting happens. But if you remove them entirely from the context of a broader story, even if they're cool, memorable at the moment, they're going to be forgotten about.
You know why Kofi's title win was such a big moment? Because they had inadvertently stumbled into a long-term story there. Because he had been there for 11 years, and you can track that story just because it happened to play out that way, and he had staying power. And so and then Ali happened to be injured, and Kofi got in there, and then the crowd took it from there. So that's evidence that like the moments can become super iconic if you have a long-term build. Every once in a while, they'll stumble into it by virtue of the fact that these superstars stick around for a long time.
I know.
So, which, by the way, also back to Kofi, we saw a lot of Kofi tonight. He had a clean win over AJ Styles. Did he talk about the fact that last week he lost to Brock Lesnar in 8 seconds? No. Why not?
Address it.
Talk about it.
Address it.
So yeah, I don't know about all that. The Fiend stuff, it could be, hey, we want that one bit. We want the big moment there at Hell in a Cell. Everybody's going to pop over, and then they'll be satisfied with that. Turned out the exact opposite happened. They crapped on it. So, I would think that this Bray going to SmackDown probably only happened in the last couple days.
Entirely possible, but the thing is,
and why do it? Because of the moment. Who cares about the future? That's why. That's the thinking. Whether it's crap.
Bankrupt thinking.
It is. It is
It's
bankrupt
horribly
thinking.
bankrupt
But
thinking.
also they're very profitable.
Yeah, I know. It's going to come.
If only they fail.
There's going to come to a point where they're teetering on the edge of this ledge constantly.
I don't know, man.
And at a certain point, like the stiff breeze is going to come along, and people are going to, like, I don't know if AEW is that stiff breeze. Not now, years from now. There's going to be a stiff breeze come along where they're teetering the edge of this ledge, and then the stiff breeze will come along and push them off the ledge, and they're going to realize, oh, crap, maybe we should invest in building new stars, telling long-term stories.
That Saudi deal is lasting 10 years, man.
I understand that.
It could take
TV
10
deal,
years. The TV deal is 5.
5. I know. It could take 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Until something changes or something's got to happen. People realize, oh, maybe if we actually invest in telling stories more than a week at a time. It's all this short-term stuff.
Yeah.
And it hasn't bit them in the rear end yet, but at a certain point,
You'd
it's
think
going to
it
catch
would.
up with them.
You'd think it would, but I don't know that it
think it's
will.
going to catch up with them.
I don't know that it will. You'd think.
Anyways, after that match, we had like 5 cards, graphics of draft rules. The 30 superstars in the draft pool for SmackDown tonight. You notice that neither of the top champions, Brock or Seth, were in said draft pool.
Yes, correct.
However, based on the DQ win by Seth, even that hardly definitive. Stephanie comes out, announces the first round of picks. Going first overall to Raw, the man, Becky Lynch. Damn it, the best pick Raw could have made. Because if Raw loses Becky,
oh my God, you can't don't go all in on this, man.
I'm telling you, she's the most marketable star the company has.
That's definitely true. But there are plenty of reasons to watch Raw.
Oh, there is. From us as wrestling fans, yes, but from a mainstream perspective, not as much.
Oh,
Becky is the one crossover star Raw has.
I wouldn't give her that much credit. WWE's WWE, man.
She's in ESPN commercials. No one else on Raw has been in ESPN commercials.
Yeah, she's a pretty big deal. I wonder, somebody mentioned this earlier. Where is this? I wonder if Ben Friedman here has a super chat. Says, you think the whole Bayley thing is setting up for Ronda coming back? I would assume Fox would want her for the star power.
Triple H said today that Ronda's coming back sooner rather than later.
Give me on SmackDown. And that's why probably the concession that Fox, because Becky Lynch was everywhere on Fox, and we had heard through the dirt sheets that Fox really wanted
I
Becky
always just
Lynch.
thought they're just tossing all the top names and all the advertising material.
If that was true, there would have been more time. She was so heavily focused. They focused so heavily on her. They weren't like focusing on Seth all that much. I think they probably wanted her, and the concession probably was you get Ronda when she comes back. That's probably going to how it plays out.
Going second overall to SmackDown.
Hold on, sorry. I want to go back to the opening match. The DQ finish.
Yeah. Kind of fitting, huh?
Well, no. Do you think there's no way they can do brand versus brand at Survivor Series this year? Because that DQ finish, I think, was to make both networks happy.
No, it could be.
And at Survivor Series, there's no way anybody can get a clean finish because neither network's going to be.
I just chalked up to you get Seth and Roman, two of their top guys. You don't want either of them to take a loss. I didn't necessarily chalk it up to a network thing, just more as an individual wrestler.
If you have brand versus brand with no clear winner, which is in the end, even if you have clean matches or clean finishes to matches, there can be no clean winner.
Mm-hmm. You can always do a thing where there's 8 matches on the card. And they're all brand versus brand, and it ends up 4-4.
What's the point of that? Remember when they did like SmackDown got creamed?
Yeah, I know.
That was
7-1
or
something like that.
Terrible.
No,
God,
it was
that
last year when they
awful.
said they got swept, even though the New Day won in the pre-show.
That was awful.
That was terrible. Anyways, Roman goes second overall to SmackDown. The OC, as a unit, goes third to Raw.
Yeah, man.
Fourth, Bray to SmackDown. The first brand change and kind of the real huge surprise. And then fifth, Drew McIntyre going to Raw. Staying on Raw.
You're speculating a big push for Drew coming up.
I mean, the person who was drafted fifth the last time they did a draft.
Now he's back on NXT.
Finn Balor. But that was the start of a huge push.
It was. No, I think you're right. Paul Heyman, it would not surprise me at all if Paul Heyman's a huge Drew McIntyre guy.
I mean, really, everybody should be a huge Drew McIntyre guy.
They really should. He's very
amazing.
manly. He's very manly.
He's a hell of a performer, too.
Very manly, too.
Yes.
So, yeah, that would not surprise me at all. So that's cool. That's good. We're both huge Drew McIntyre fans.
Hell yeah, man.
Good.
Yes. After that, we had Samoa Joe and Beth Phoenix join Renee Young and Booker T, kind of getting a bit of a preview of WWE Backstage. They said that's going to be on the 15th, so that's next Tuesday.
Joe gave, the perfect audition for this.
Man.
He's so good.
He's amazing.
He's amazing. What we were saying this during the live stream, how great would it be?
What was that you're ripping up?
Samoa Joe.
What is that?
Nothing important.
Well, I know
Samoa
that.
Joe.
You just need some bits of business.
Is it triggering you right now?
No, it's not.
All right.
Just curious.
Samoa Joe. It's a bit of business. Help me focus.
Okay, that's fine.
CM Punk.
Oh, let it happen. Nigel McGuinness, Daniel Bryan, all on Backstage.
That would be killer. That would be and the only directive is say what you want, but keep it kayfabe.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep it in kayfabe.
Yeah, man.
That would be a riot.
That'd be amazing.
Oh man, give me that.
But anyways,
maybe toss in Matt Riddle.
Anyways, what we got was really good. Booker T's amazing. Renee Young, great. Joe, outstanding. Beth Phoenix, great.
Yeah.
It was all great. Then we tossed to Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. They talk about drafts. Of course, Troy Aikman went first, I believe, in the 88 NFL draft. He talked about that experience. And then Joe asked Troy, hey, if you were a wrestler, what move would you use? And he says, I was always huge on the pile driver. Yeah. Smart man.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Use the band move.
I mean, that's got to be top 5, right?
Yeah, you think
Most
so.
devastating kayfabe moves.
Yeah.
I liked the incorporation of the Fox Sports personalities all talking about strategy. The problem is once we shift to Raw and you get the USA players, that's going to be terrible. They don't have,
they don't have sports on USA typically.
They're in the NBC, but they don't really talk about NBC.
No. I think they run some of the Olympic stuff on USA during the Olympics, but
Bob Costas.
He's not showing up on Raw.
Come on, Bob.
Don't you remember the interview he had with Vince McMahon that was incredibly contentious, Steve? To say the least.
Hey, man, it's been 25 years since that.
I know. I'd just be very surprised.
Oh, man.
I feel like Bob Costas would consider himself above appearing on Monday Night Raw.
Maybe.
He wasn't. I believe he was on the list of advertised analysts and celebrities.
They did advertise some people from USA. Who was it again? Oh, it was Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Well,
they're not USA. They're
on NBC. Yeah. But then, they advertised Alex Rodriguez. He wasn't there.
Is he a Fox guy?
Yeah, Fox Baseball.
Oh, okay.
Same with Frank Thomas.
Maybe they're gonna. I don't know. Maybe in the
It's
spirit
all the football.
maybe
all
in
the
the
football
spirit of
analysts.
collaboration. That seems unlikely though.
Yeah, no.
But maybe.
I'd be really surprised.
I don't want to hear college. I loved hearing the sports guys. That was fun.
It was fun. And by a lot, yeah, everybody did great. And no one seemed condescending like
Does
Mark
Costa
Schlereth.
still do Sunday Night Football?
No, it's Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
Costas doesn't
He might do the
introduce
pre-show.
it? Yeah.
Maybe. I haven't watched the pre-show in a while.
That'd be
'Cause Dan
cool.
Patrick
That'd
did
be
it for a
cool. They
while.
got some of the Sunday Night Football guys.
Yeah, get Al Michaels to do it.
What else does NBC have any else? Any other
Sports?
Sports? They still have. They don't have NBA, do they?
No, it's all ABC and ESPN.
It's all, yeah, that's right.
And,
yeah.
and TBS
And
or
TBS
TNT. Sorry,
yeah.
it's
I
just
don't know.
football, and I don't know if they even get because they used to rotate the World Series, but I don't think they do that anymore. I think it's all Fox now.
Yeah. So after that, we had again King Corbin and Chad Gable.
It's a fun match, though.
Are they both in Monday's draft pool?
Yes.
Okay. So they're probably going to get split up.
Oh wait, no. Was Chad? I thought Chad Gable was in tonight's.
Was he?
Yes, he was in tonight's draft pool.
Oh wow, free agent now.
Not selected, however.
Interesting. He'll be on Twitter tonight.
Anyways, break down this match, and I'll check Twitter actually to see if they.
So Corbin
announced
came
anything.
out. He got a new shirt, a King Corbin shirt. Looked pretty cool. It's got like a what do you call it? Like a little horsey design on it. And there's a total the arms thing.
Yeah.
What is
it's
it called?
It's like tank top.
Anyways, he comes out, drops a promo about being king and stuff. Shorty Gable, who that is now on his Tron.
Yeah.
Shorty Gable. At one point, Corbin chokeslam. It gets pretty contentious pretty quick, pretty violent pretty quick. Corbin chokeslam Gable onto the announce table. Gable's able to reverse a deep six into a bulldog.
Yeah, that was
he
good.
follows up with some flip kicks. Baron then rolls out of the ring, understands that he's not doing too well against Shorty G. Gable sends him over the barricade into a bunch of cable. Back in the ring, Gable hits a moonsault, only gets a 2. He avoids end of days, hits a chaos theory, gets a 2. Gable reverses a choke slam into a roll up, although Baron kicks out.
Yeah.
He was able to figure out how to kick out of a
every
roll
once in a
up.
while he'll figure out the roll up thing.
Sometimes he does.
No draft picks announced on Twitter so far.
Gable then transitions into an ankle lock. He has that on for a long, long time. He transitions that into a jackknife cover. But Baron hits end of days, gets the win over Shorty Gable.
Yeah, they're for sure probably changing brands or being on different brands now.
They're sort of the poor man's Fiend versus Seth Rollins.
You could say that.
A feud that people just want to move on from.
I guess so. For different reasons entirely.
Yeah, totally.
Strong win from Baron. Makes up for his loss on Raw. Now he can beat King Corbin, probably still on Raw. Chad Gable would fit right in with... We keep on hearing like the sports-centric thing for Fox, but that doesn't really play out in terms of the first round of picks so much.
Could you imagine
Or
if
the
you
first
get
batch of picks.
Daniel Bryan, Drew Gulak, and Chad Gable all on the same
amazing.
brand?
Amazing.
I'd love it.
It'd be outstanding, man.
Sprinkle in some Shelton Benjamin,
Hell yes.
and we're good to go.
Hell yes.
That's a faction right there.
That'd be
man.
great.
That's a faction.
Next, we had the NFL on Fox crew talking wrestling, talking about their favorite wrestlers.
It's good stuff.
Who'd have thought Terry Bradshaw, huge Dusty Rhodes fan?
That makes all the sense
I know.
in the world.
I was being sarcastic.
I know. What did Reggie Bush say?
Oh, that was later on.
Oh, okay.
That was later on. They went to the Fox college football analysts, and so it was Brady Quinn, Matt Leinart, and Reggie Bush.
Okay.
And the gist of that was that Bush went second overall. I think Leinart went 7th.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
Brady Quinn had to sit in the green room forever.
Yeah.
And so they were talking draft position and stuff. Anyways, after NFL and Fox crew talking wrestling, Stephanie made some more picks. Randall Orton going to Raw. Change of brand. I guess that's a change.
That's
of
a
brand
big
too.
change. Yeah, that's a big
It's
change right
of
there.
brand there. I tried to keep track of this, but with the wild card rule and people showing up all over the place, you lose track on who.
Oh,
who's
for
on what
sure,
brand.
yeah. Because Lacey Evans changed brands technically
Yes,
also,
true,
but she was
true.
all over the place.
Yeah, I know. Sasha Banks, she's going to Raw. SmackDown. Ricochet staying on Raw. Braun moving over to SmackDown.
That's a big deal.
It is, and then Bob Lashley staying on Raw.
Yeah, they're going to continue that Bob Lashley, Lana Russo thing
Oh yes.
for a little while, probably for too long.
Yeah. After that round of picks, back to the backstage panel. More talk between Joe, Renee Young, Booker T, Beth Phoenix. All good stuff.
Good stuff.
After that, they had to waste a few minutes on a Tyson Fury video package. Don't care about this. Could care less.
Yeah, they had that big press conference
where they announced, Tyson Fury versus Braun.
So we've
Brock
decided
versus Kane.
during Crown Jewel,
Which will we not be watching.
we're not going to be watching it. We're going to do a charity live stream to benefit. I mean, we haven't really talked about it. We were going to do one for like a children's cancer, the pediatric cancer thing, like maybe St. Jude's.
We did
again.
that last time, yeah.
We could do that again.
Yeah.
We could talk about it. We're going to be live streaming We Book AEW versus NXT.
Yeah, we're going to have the Wednesday Night War play out in the ring.
But as we book it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's going to be good stuff.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Anyways, whatever. Tyson Fury, he's a boxer. After that, we had a Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman promo. Heyman kind of talks about a bit Brock's history with Kane, but he says, nonetheless, Brock will conquer Kane. He's about to say, this isn't a prediction, it's a spoiler. Cue Rey Mysterio's music.
619.
His Tron package looks amazing on that SmackDown set. I hope he's drafted to SmackDown.
That looks so great.
Yeah, man.
That looks so
Actually,
great.
Ray probably would be drafted to SmackDown because he's got to be there with Kane. So they come out to the stage. Ray does most of the talking. He throws to some UFC slideshow of Kane wrecking Brock about 10 years ago. Piece of skin hanging off of Brock's cheek.
Oh, yeah.
All that.
That was a good little bit where Kane. So apparently Kane, I didn't watch it, but Kane didn't do too well with his scripted comments today at the press conference. But him speaking in Spanish comes off as very natural, and I thought it was good. And then Ray translated, and he said he's going to give you a scar on the other side of that cheek.
Yeah, a matching scar on the other side.
A matching scar
of your face.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
thought that was pretty good.
It was good.
I mean, on one hand, I kind of appreciate that Crown Jewel is a bunch of stuff that, like, I mean, if you look at the marquee, like the two big matches.
Don't care.
They're not. Tyson Fury's not going to come back. Like, that's not going to be canon.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
And then Kane apparently, not allegedly, Kane did sign a multi-year deal with WWE.
Yeah.
That was announced.
Yeah, and retired from MMA.
So, you know, I mean, I'm open to Kane Velasquez.
Yeah.
I'm open to him.
I am.
The fact that he went to AAA, donned a mask, has a deep, deep respect for the lucha tradition, for pro wrestling.
Totally. And he comported himself wonderfully in AAA.
Totally willing to
Like
give him
his
a chance.
in-ring work was good considering how little he had trained.
Yeah.
I just don't care about the story.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what happened 10 years ago, another promotion, another company. I don't care.
Yeah. I want him to get some reps in and get like into some deep cut rivalries with people like Shorty G
Sure.
and
That should be pretty good given Gable's wrestling background.
and Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Put him in there with people who freaking know how to wrestle.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what his first match with Brock's going to be? It's just going to look like a sloppy, weird MMA pro wrestling crossover.
Yeah, it's going to look sloppy.
It's going to look like a
It's going to look like pancakes, but not be real.
Muhammad Ali versus.
Antonio Inoki.
Yeah.
Is Brock
I
going
wish
to
it-
lay,
I
Brock
wish-
gonna lay in the mat and just kick
I wish it
Kane's
would,
legs the whole time?
I wish it would look like Antonio Inoki versus the Great
Great Antonio.
Just kicking his head the entire time.
Yeah. After that, then the Fox college football analysts talk about drafts. That was fun because Brady Quinn was poking fun at the fact that he had to sit in the green room all day.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we had the New Day taking on the OC in six-man tag team action. Before the match, Big E does the New Day's intro at gorilla position. That never gets old.
I love that every time.
Love it.
Every time.
And then they come to the ramp. They do, after commercial break, do a segment for Susan G. Komen.
It was lovely.
Present a couple titles to a couple of breast cancer survivors.
Mm-hmm.
Then the match happened. Fun match. Interrupted by, I think, another commercial break. Felt short. And during this match, we were talking about, like, what is Kofi going to do? Why is there no mention of him losing to Brock in embarrassing
he did
fashion?
Was put a very heartfelt message on Twitter. Give him the mic to talk about his title loss, man.
Maybe we have to wait another week.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, the finish of this match was great. It was down to Kofi and AJ Styles. So AJ is going to phenomenal form. Kofi evades it. He goes for an SOS. AJ counters that. He tries to go for a calf crusher. Kofi escapes that. And then Kofi hits Trouble in Paradise on your U.S. champion, AJ Styles, to get the win.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we got the OC over there on Raw already.
Mm-hmm.
If the New Day go to Raw, ready-made feud for Kofi. Or as you mentioned, if they get drafted to SmackDown, if they have this match on Raw anyways, get the U.S. belt over to SmackDown, maybe they trade mid-card titles.
We talked about this on the stream.
Yeah.
You mentioned the idea that because I asked you, I said, if they do this, if this leads to a match on Raw where they get the U.S. title off of AJ Styles, put it on Kofi Kingston, that top title, the WWE title, is going to be locked up with Brock. He's going to be disappearing for stretches.
Yes.
And that'll
U.S. title will be the de facto top belt.
It'll be the top belt, and that's going to be what people are going to be fighting for. Putting it immediately on Kofi, a consolation prize, if that's how they treat that title, that's as good a consolation prize as we're going to get.
Probably.
So, it is what it is. Evident from this, they're still booking Kofi strong.
Yep.
So hopefully
that's good.
Maybe the idea is they don't want him to sound conciliatory because they're going to keep him strong and he's just going to transition to U.S. title and the top names are going to come in after that.
After that match, Stephanie announced more picks. We get 2 rounds of picks. First, Alexa Bliss goes to Raw. Still interesting that Raw didn't pick both Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I think it's just a thing probably where they realize, we kind of spoiled the whole draft order here. Let's separate Nikki and Alexa to create a little intrigue whether we're going to split this tag team, but it's just wasting a pick for Raw if you think about it logically.
Maybe Alexa and Nikki never submitted the paperwork.
They were listing draft pools as a tag team, man.
To become well, yeah, but we know how that worked out.
I mean, it's apparently verbatim about what they had backstage, so in that sense, you think that'd be paperwork filed.
I guess.
Next, Lacey Evans. She's on SmackDown now. Kevin Owens going over to Raw. Moving brands.
Yeah,
so he gets Shane McMahon fired. This is brought up during our live stream. He gets Shane McMahon fired.
So a high-profile face.
And then moves over to Raw.
Braun went to SmackDown, so he's a high-profile
essentially traded Braun
face.
for Kevin Owens.
Did you color code the other ones? Okay. Orton going to Raw. He's a heel. Yeah, okay. All right.
Revival, they're staying on SmackDown, even though they're kind of recent arrivals on SmackDown anyways. Yeah. So, yeah. They go hard. Natalya, she's staying on Raw. We get another commercial break.
Crack me up. Shows the USA War Room, and they're all going crazy
for
over
Natalya now.
Natalya.
After commercial break, she announces more picks. War Raiders, they're staying on Raw.
Yeah.
Lucha House Party, who've just kind of been on like all the brands. They have been drafted to SmackDown, so they essentially it seemed like they're called up from 205 Live
permanently. They're going to be chasing that 24/7 title.
Yep. Nikki Cross. She's staying on Raw. Again, Raw just wasting a pick.
But seemingly, here's the thing, though. Does this signal that that tag team is broken up?
No, because it doesn't play out in any fashion storyline-wise. They're in the same brand.
Does that matter? Why? That does not matter.
I'm guessing they did this just like, oh, look, we're going to create some intrigue because the draft list that we released is playing out exactly as it's playing out here in SmackDown. Let's draft them separately so people think they might be broken up.
Yeah, it could be.
Heavy Machinery to SmackDown. And then final pick of the night, Street Profits. Get the call up from NXT. They're going to Raw. That's awesome.
Well, are they going to fight? Or are they just hiring them? Are they drafting them to remain the people who just talk about Raw?
No, I don't think so.
The going in Raw of Raw?
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
Don't think so.
I'll believe it when I see it.
No, they're going to be in the ring, man.
Didn't we confirm Heavy Machinery wasn't even in the draft pool?
I think they were on the Raw draft pool. That's what Sean Ross Sapp said on Twitter.
Oh, were they?
But then I do a search for Heavy on this.
Yeah, me too.
And they're not there.
Yeah.
So maybe not. Interesting. Don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe they went to like, well, here's a free agent that's going to go on SmackDown. Let's have them be drafted instead, and then whoever's going to be drafted in that slot initially will just be a free agent, and we'll sign with SmackDown eventually.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's supposed to be Cesaro or something.
Yeah, that's right. Cesaro was supposed to be there.
Yeah. After that, WB Backstage panel one last time, winners and losers. Based on our conversation, what I could hear between our conversation, Beth really thought SmackDown Live won the night.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I pulled from that whole thing. And then Jay Glazer did his inside scoop, which I'm guessing he does before NFL on Fox, about the draft. Competitor he has his eyes on, Sonya Deville.
Yeah.
He talked trades, which would be cool. I was almost expecting him to announce a trade. That would have been interesting.
I wonder if that's signaling maybe Sonya's going to get a little bit of a push. Because she mentioned also wanting to break out a little bit which is I'm just saying is because she's on our draft for the Discord draft.
Yeah,
she's on our team.
Yeah, I would like.
We
her
keep
to
on
break
getting
out.
cream, man.
We do.
Keep on getting cream because of Cody Miles and his damn point system. By the way, Cody, we're gonna need you to keep track of our.
No, he sent me a thing, so I can keep track of it now.
Of the Steven Larson.
I'm
draft.
keeping track of the whole thing.
I think we need Cody Miles to do it.
No, I can do it. I can do it fine.
You are biased, my friend.
No, I'm not.
You are How is that not a conflict of interest?
Because I'm.
You're competing.
I know,
You
but
get to
I
be
can
the
still
judge
be
also?
a morally upright scorekeeper. You're ahead now. I didn't deny you any points.
I don't think you can. You're a snitch, remember?
Yeah, but I'd probably snitch on myself if I didn't do things right.
You'd confess.
You know me. Yes.
confess.
You know. In that same conversation, I said that if I had committed a serious crime, like I would expect you to turn me in.
Oh, it's terrible. Never. You're my best friend. I would never turn you in.
Should.
Ride or die.
It's
not ride or snitch.
If I did something awful.
Like
awful.
What? Well, if it's dog related, then I'll turn you in. If it's dog related, I'll take care of it vigilante style.
Oh gosh.
With a machete.
You couldn't bring yourself to do that.
It'd be awkward. Oh my god! I kind of stabbed him in the neck with a machete.
No, but you like kind of do it like 50% power.
I know it'd be like kind of in your neck,
but it wouldn't even break the skin.
Yeah, it would. 50% power, that'd break the skin.
Machetes aren't that sharp. At least the machete I have.
Mine is. Anyways, what happened next? Charlotte versus Bayley was the main event.
Main event. Bayley came out with Charlotte came out first. Bayley came out with new ring gear. She had a hoodie, and then the wacky wavy inflatable tube men came up, and then what?
Keep going.
Oh, questions. She took the hoodie down, got a haircut, no more ponytail. First signifier, full on heel.
Big time.
Then she grabbed an axe handle that had a couple little pokey things at the end.
Yeah.
First they were upright, and then when she started swinging it, they came down. It kind of looked like a pickaxe.
Mm-hmm.
And then she started popping all the wacky, wavy, inflatable tube men. Mm-hmm. They're no more. She killed them all.
Pretty sure that's a heel turn.
That's totally a heel turn, man. See that Twitter video? She made a child cry.
She made at least one child cry. That was the saddest thing, man. That was so sad.
That was a pretty huge bummer.
Number one reason not to get your kids into wrestling, man.
Break their hearts.
Break their hearts at a heel turn.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yep. But anyways, actually executed it pretty well on screen. Match was solid. Charlotte, she kind of starts working over Bayley's leg about halfway through, and then Bayley escapes, gets on the apron. Charlotte boots her off, and then Charlotte hits a moonsault off the barricade, puts Bayley back in the ring, gets a 2 count.
A lot of people in chat are bringing up the fact that you just confessed to owning a dull machete.
Yeah, I have a dull machete.
It's near your door too, isn't it?
Not anymore. It wasn't my previous house. That was my security system. We have a real security system.
Mine's a baseball bat and a sign that says I have a security system.
You didn't have a security system. You just have some.
Oh, I got Gypsy. She's pretty good, man. She's pretty good.
Better than any dull machete. So Charlotte hits a moonsault off the barricade, puts Bayley back in the ring, gets a 2 count. Charlotte goes for a figure 8. Bayley kicks her in the knee. Hits the Bayley belly. Charlotte kicks out.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah.
Bayley was beside herself.
Yeah, she was upset. Charlotte goes to the top rope for a moonsault. Bayley gets her knees up, but as Charlotte lands, she catches her feet, kind of goes for a Boston Crab, transitions to figure 8. Bayley kicks her into the second turnbuckle, covers Charlotte, puts her feet in the middle ropes. Charlotte kicks out. Bayley hits a nasty belly-to-back suplex, a running knee, followed by the top rope elbow. Again, Charlotte kicks out. So Bayley gets up. She starts arguing with the ref. Mm-hmm. That should have been 3. Counting skills are terrible.
Yeah.
This allows Charlotte to hit natural selection. Instead of going for the pin right away, goes for the figure 8 again. Bayley grabs Charlotte by the hair, rolls her up, and gets the win that way.
Yep.
And afterwards, she grabs the mic, says,
"Hey, bitches, screw all of you." Now,
the mic,
at that
leaves.
point, really, she should have somehow incorporated the SH word. She should have said, "I don't care. I don't give a shit about any of you." That's what she should, or "you ain't shit." That's really what she should have said.
Yeah.
Light profanity. So that's what she should have said. But "screw all of you" is pretty good. It got the point across.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, man. AEW, they've raised the stakes. They're saying light profanity on
Chris
TV.
Jericho was dropping light profanity all over the place.
Even JR did in the first week.
Yeah, man.
So I feel like Fox really needs to let that one go. So yeah, good stuff. And then Fear and Loathing in NYC here. Super Chat brings us up. During the women's title match, someone was composing new theme music for Bayley.
Oh, yeah, afterwards there was new theme. I was about to bring that up, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got new music.
See, Wayne says this as if it's an insult. He says Steve would be in the panic room if there was an intruder. Well, that's what a panic room's for, of course. You take your family down to the panic room, you call 911, and let the professionals take care of it. I'm totally fine with that. Be like, Gypsy, come on. Bama, come on. Let's go.
All right.
Go down to the panic room. You're not a fan of the panic room?
I mean, I can't afford one, so it's a non-issue for me.
I don't have one either. I'm just saying if you had one, I would suspect that you'd utilize it.
Yeah, sure, of course.
The comfort of I get on the couch in the panic room. Hello, 911. Oh, I've got an intruder. I'm going to take a nap. Can you take care of this, please? Nothing wrong with that. Better than, he might have a gun. I don't have a gun. You're not going to bring a dull machete to a gunfight. I mean,
Waymaker just realized there's a typo on our live stream setup after we've been doing it for several months. Who's he one to criticize?
Yeah. He's not locking intruders out. He's locking locking his girlfriend out of the house at all hours of the night.
Oh goodness, Pandaplex Gatlin T's got a question here. Hey guys, y'all able to catch NWA Power? If y'all did, what do you think? The Friendoverse is loving it. Can't wait for you to review. Love you both. You watch it. I haven't had a chance to. Maybe this weekend I'll get a chance.
I did. I thought it was lovely. I thought it was just lovely. It was a very fun throwback to the 1980s with the studio setup. I thought it was a lot of fun. Beyond that, it is what it is. It's not like, they're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
They're trying to reinvent the 80s.
Quite the contrary.
Reconstitute the 80s. Ben Friedman, you read this one. I think you think Bayley's thing is setting up Ronda coming back. Or Super Fox would want her for the star power. Yes.
Seems like it makes sense.
Jose Alaguna, do you think WB is telling Kofi not to mention his loss in fear of another Daniel Bryan reaction?
What? Daniel Bryan reaction are we referring to here?
I don't know. No, I just think I would just wait till next week. I wouldn't be surprised if he
grabs the mic next week. It could be they don't want to. They know they're not going to go in that direction, and they say, "Hey, listen, we don't want the crowds. We don't want he's a professional.
Yeah, we
don't want the crowds chanting your name while Cain Velasquez is out there. So don't bring it up."
Maybe they were chanting Kofi's name in the 6-man tag match though. DJ Saints, The Fiend versus Seth at Survivor Series, possibly. I'd be surprised at this point. They did announce it on Twitter and then deleted the tweet.
They announced Fiend versus Seth at Survivor Series?
Mm-hmm. On Monday or Tuesday.
I could, if they went more like sort of resolving storylines, given that we're only a month out from Survivor Series, if they went more in that direction, I could see maybe them doing that as opposed to champion versus champion.
Yeah.
I could see that as a possibility.
That's what they kind of did the last time there was a draft, the pay-per-view following.
Yeah.
Elliot, WB.com shows SmackDown article. Oh, he has the list. They leaked the
link
picks.
to the leak, yeah.
Fear and Loathing, Larson, would you too sweet Cletus? No, I'm too sweet. I'm too sweet.
Yeah, but it's Cletus.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool football robot, but I wouldn't too sweet him. Sorry, Cletus.
And then he'd Ed 209 you.
All right.
That was one of the scariest scenes in all of movies when I was a kid. The scene where the executives were getting together and they had Ed 209, 409, something like that? Whatever.
Probably 209, 409 is stuff you spray in the door when it's squeaky.
Well, there you go. And then he could.
Oh no, 409 is a cleaning product.
409 is a cleaning product.
Sorry.
WD-40 is what you're thinking of.
Yes.
And the executive couldn't get away.
Yeah.
And everybody was freaking out. They were like, "Get away from me." And then that dude just got murdered.
Yeah.
Oh, that was horrifying.
Yeah, it was scary.
I watched that when I was 8.
VFL, AFL, Football Australian rules. Who's the Fiend's next victim? Braun. Say Braun.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
Fear and Loathing NYC. It's the Braun Show.
MGB donated $1 on the.
Thank you.
On the Streamlabs. Hey guys, loved you guys from the start of the show. It's strange how NBC Universal didn't have any of their Olympic broadcasters for Raw. Well, that's in the future. MGB is talking to us from Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
But I also wonder why they didn't have any broadcasters from their worldwide partners. Wonder why they didn't. Thanks. I think that once we get to Raw, if USA is going to dole out their people.
Yeah, exactly. Fear and Loathing. You answered that already. I said already. Fear and Loathing again. Larson will let the intruder know he has a neck issue. It's please just be.
You going to try to bargain with them a little bit?
I
appeal to their compassion.
Be easy on me. Got a bad neck.
He's like, I'm in your house. I don't want to hear you. You're giving me a target now. Targeted.
Gustavo Gama bringing RoboCop back to wrestling, and thanks to Conrad Thompson and StarCast, they are.
Yeah,
he's gonna be a StarCast, and it's gonna be amazing. I wish we could go.
That's exciting stuff.
Super exciting.
I just put up a Patreon thread, and we've got a couple. Oh, we got a bunch of
questions.
Yeah,
cool.
Okay. Rich says, "How amazing is Heel Bailey?" He's very excited about Heel Bailey.
It was good.
My only suggestion was it's a bit of a "May I speak to your manager" haircut. Maybe cornrows, or a mohawk, or like what Ruby Wright does, like shave half of it.
Yeah.
You gotta
A little more edge.
Badass her up a little bit. Although I did like her attire.
The ring gear was good. The hoodie was good.
The hoodie was good. Let's see here. Oh, good question. Alex Foster. If you could drag people places like The Fiend does, where would you drag them? Well, if there's an intruder in my house, I would drag him down into the river Stygian.
Or at least the crawl space under your house.
Yes. And then I dump a bucket of fire spiders on him.
Oh, my goodness.
What are fire spiders, Mark? They're spiders well lit on fire. But aren't they just dead then? Didn't work out quite the way I expected it to. All right, just go home, Mark.
Go home, Mark.
All right.
Quit with your science experiment.
It's a little late. Get out of my backyard, Undertaker. There at the bottom. Now that Bray is on SmackDown, is he eventually going to beat Brock for the WWE title?
One could hope.
Best we can hope is probably the U.S. title at this point.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God. He says, also, I am Larson Goon. Did you invite Thayer Thabata to your brain trust? That's the worst brain trust ever.
He volunteered himself.
Thayer.
There's good people.
I'll negotiate for you. Listen, Thayer.
Oh,
you could be
God.
part of Larson Goon.
Can you be?
And, listen,
Can you be any more condescending?
you could be part, please let
It
me
continues.
advocate for you. You could be part of the secret brain trust and Larson Goon if you simply let Larson be the commissioner of fantasy football.
I don't want that deal.
You get it.
I don't want it.
You take it.
Your negotiation skills are garbage.
Are they?
You're trying to advocate
Abdicate.
You're trying to abdicate. Have Thayer abdicate, and you're advocating for me to take him over into something I don't want. You know I don't want it.
You need to do it for the good of Friendo Fantasy Part 2.
It's running fine right now. It's running fine.
No, it's not.
You're not there. You don't know anything.
Oh, I have the inside line. You think M doesn't tell me everything that's going on there?
Goodness.
Fear and Loathing says Friendo Fantasy hoops.
That's too much of a commitment. That's daily. You have to check that daily.
It's too much.
Can't do it.
Okay, Chode Masterson. When will we start seeing unprotected headshots on Fox since they don't believe in CTE? That's funny. Greg Morris. Who takes the title off Brock? Roman, Braun, The Fiend?
Should be The Fiend, but
It's going to be Roman.
probably going to be Roman.
It's going to be Roman.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jackson Henry. We'll finish up with him. Which pop culture icon does each brand get? And include NXT and 205. So they have to draft pop culture icons too.
Well, I mean, SmackDown should just get Cletus, right? He's a pop culture icon, right?
Like, throw out some pop culture icons. Like, aren't the Kardashians pop culture icons?
Unfortunately. Thankfully, E doesn't have any wrestling. Oh, Total Divas.
Yeah.
That's the wrestling programming there.
Yeah. I have the anonymous Raw general manager.
Oh, dear.
Oh, that's a good picture.
What? Okay, let's to narrow the focus a little bit.
Oh, good. Ray Bostoff says Raw gets Snoop Dogg, but I'm going to say Snoop Dogg goes to SmackDown gets Snoop Dogg because Sasha.
Yeah, they're cousins. Yes,
That's a good one.
That's good. That's good.
Ew, D Minor says Raw gets Trump. He's no longer a pop culture icon. He's just he's a convict in waiting at this point.
Yes.
Post Malone to NXT. I didn't know Post Malone is already a pop culture icon.
Oh yeah, he's a huge music star these days.
Yeah, but I know music star versus pop culture icon. There's a line there. Crisley is not a pop culture icon. He's another convict in waiting.
Yes, totally.
Horace Hogan to Saudi Arabia. Oh man, you guys are too much. All right, we're out of here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate it. Hey, man, if you haven't subbed to the channel, tomorrow we have something awesome.
Yeah.
It's our mock draft. This is something that we are going to play all the way out to WrestleMania. This is just a one-time goof. We're tracking points.
Cody Miles made me a spreadsheet.
Cody Miles is going to be
points.
tracking our points.
I'm tracking the points.
Unbiased, and he's also our arbitrator in case we need mediation or arbitration. He could be our mediator.
Or arbitrator.
What's the difference between
I don't think there really is one.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Wayne, there is no overrun today. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.